Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this Make What You See in the Shops tutorial we're gonna make a jumper dress, and I really like jumper dresses because it's very cozy and snuggly in the winter or in the fall time, and it's very easy to put on because you only have to put on your jumper dress, you put your boots on and you're ready to go. So it's a very versatile, very liked piece of fashion for me. I saw rather some jumper dresses in stores. Of course, you can also make a jumper dress when you see a sweater. You make it just longer and then it's a dress, so it's very easy. I like that rust color of those two you see here in the inspiration box. I was very happy to find some fabric in that color, so I'm gonna use that for this. I like the loose color in the left picture and in the middle picture. I want to make that. I want to make a sort of a waterfall color there. Not tight against the neck because I don't like that. I get itchy when there's something tight to my neck, so we make that loose waterfall one. I like a sweater dress, but it's not too tight and not too wide because it gets too boxy because I'm very small. So I make a little bit of a waist in it, but not too much, but that it's not really that boxy. And what I really like is the picture in the right corner is that balloon sleeves. My fabric is rather thin, so I can easily make balloon sleeves out of it. Make sure your fabric is not too thick, then I wouldn't do that. And I wouldn't make balloon sleeves because it looks really strange because it doesn't feel nicely. We have to make cuffs then to put on the balloon sleeves. I don't have a fabric for that, I couldn't find it, so I have to use the same fabric for that. And that mostly is the problem when you have a knit fabric, that there's no material for cuffs to that, so you have to make it yourself of the same fabric or sometimes from the wrong side of the fabric. So we're gonna see how we make that. So here's my fabulous drawing again. Pretty straightforward, just straight down dress with a little bit of a curve, a little bit of a waist in it. Not too much because I think that's not too nice with this fabric. Rather wide sleeves, not so much on the top, but on the bottom pleats on the cuffs. And a rather wide collar that's falling a little bit down in front. And I make it above, just above, on top of the knee. But you can make it as short as or as long as you like. I make it knee length, I think. And then I have really beautiful fabric, this orange rusty color knit. I must say it's in my country pretty difficult to find nice knit fabric. I have bought this one online and it's a little bit hit or miss because online you don't really, you can see the color and you can feel the fabric, so you don't know how thick or how thin it is. This is rather thin. I must say all the knit fabrics that I have are rather thin. The really chunky knits I can't find in my country, so I must do it with this. But this is a really nice quality, very nice color, so I'm very happy with this to make this dress out of it. So the pattern making for the sweater dress is very easy because the front and the back are the same except for the neckline. But it's not too difficult to draw. I hope you have the measurements from the first video where you measured all your sizes, so you can use that every time again. So I hope you still have that, otherwise go back to the first video to see what your sizes are. What you're gonna do is you're gonna draw the neckline for the back first. That is, for me, it's 8 centimeters wide and 8 centimeters low, so that you make this curved line. And it goes from the shoulder, and the shoulder for me is 11 centimeters, and it goes a little bit down. As you know, I don't go that much down. When you have rather drooped shoulders, then you go down 2 centimeters. I just give it 1. Then for the front, it's the same curved line but 5 centimeters lower. So in total it's 13 centimeters. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your chest size, and I added that with 4, mine is 22, so I made it 26, and I measured out how much percentage it is, because maybe you like to know how much percentage it is, because for me it's 4 centimeters plus, but maybe you have a totally different size, and then yeah, how much do I have to do. So I took for the chest size 20% up, for the waist 30% up, and for the hips also 20% up. So for me, I took my quarter chest plus 4, so that was 26. You mark that and you make a curved line to that point, and I took this point 21 centimeters down from the shoulder, because I like that, for me, a nice armhole. I don't like it when this is too much in my how's that called, underarm. So for me it's 21 centimeters, but if you want it lower or higher, you can change that up. So this is then your chest. Then your waist, for me I added 6, and it was 30% up, so that was 23, and my hips are just out of the focus. I added there 20%, and so that was 26, and then you make a little bit of a curved line so they can attach each other. If you want it more a boxy style, then you can make a less curve, and if you want it more bodycon, then you can make it more curved. It's a little bit depending also of your fabric. My fabric is rather thin, so because it's knitted, I don't like when it's really too tight, so I want it rather loose but not too loose. So for me, these are the measurements for this dress, for this material especially. Then for the sleeves, I first measured out how much centimeters my armhole was. So you take your measuring tape and you just measure this curve. That was 26 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I made this the middle of my sleeve. Normally I take a line, but now I fold it, but I don't know if you can see it, but here is the line of the half sleeve, and this curved line must be the same as the armhole, so 26 centimeters. And I give it a little bit of a curve down. You don't want it to be really a coat sleeve, so normally this is then really high and steeper, but just a little bit of a curve that makes that it falls nicely over your shoulder, but not really with a fold in it. So you can make it even lower if you want, but a little bit of curve I like. And make sure that this is the same size as your armhole. The width of this is whatever you like. It's easiest to measure, you can see that, around your upper arm, a little bit higher, but I can't get it in the camera, around your arm, how wide you want your sleeves to be. For me it was 43 centimeters in total, so this is the half sleeve. If you want it wider, then you can make it extended to the side, and then this will get a lower steep like than this, because you need more length to make the sleeve wider. But I could get with my 26 centimeters, I could get a rather nice steep down. Then you go down. I make my sleeve 60 centimeters long. You measure how tight you want it around your wrist. In this pattern I like it rather loose, because I want to make folds in it to make it with the pleats onto the cuff. So I made it exactly the same width as this, so this is a straight line going down, so that the bottom of the sleeves are also this 43 centimeters in total. And then I can make nice pleats onto the cuff for the wrist. So this is the half sleeve, and of course you make a whole one when you fold it together and you cut it out, you get a whole sleeve. So we have the front part and the back part. We're gonna sew them together, right sides together. And we're gonna start with the shoulders. And what you do, because this is very stretchy material and very, because it's knit, it will hang out. You're gonna sew together in the seam some kind of ribbon, doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's not stretch. It's a tight ribbon, and that makes sure that this doesn't get slouchy and doesn't go hanging when you wear it or when you have it in your closet. So sew that together on the shoulder seams. So we're gonna do the shoulder seams, and then what I find most easy is fold the two parts open, and then first sew the sleeves together with it. So you mark where the middle is of your sleeve, you align it with the shoulder seam, and you sew this all around the armhole for the two sleeves. Then you have this attached too, and then when you put the front and the back together, you can sew the whole side seam together with the whole sleeve seam, and then you have one continuous sewing project here. You can do that for all the parts, and then you will almost finished. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll come back for the rest. Well, as you know, I like to do the most with my serger, but if you want to do this with a normal sewing machine, you can certainly do that. Certainly use a stretch stitch or a zigzag stitch for the straight stitching, and make sure you certainly finish the hems or the seams, because they fray very easily, because this is a knit fabric. So also use a zigzag stitch or something to, or even more an overlock stitch if you have that on your machine, to finish the seams as well. So I'm gonna use my serger because that does the job in one shot. So I'm very happy with that. So we have the whole dress on each other. Looks very nice already. The sleeves are on. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the cuffs onto the sleeves. And what we'll do is we're gonna gather the end of the bottom of the sleeve. Normally I would do that with the sewing machine and make a gathering stitch here, but because of this fabric is very thin and very fragile, I will do that by hand. Just take a needle and go up, down, up, down, up, down the whole sleeve around, and then you can pull it together. Then you take your cuff and first you sew them together in the length. Then when it's sewn, then you can open it up, and it's like this, and then you can fold it together. It's hard to show now, maybe if I pin it I can see how it looks. So you sew the ends together in the length of the cuff, and then you open it up and you fold it together, and then you get the cuff how it is supposed to be when it's on your sleeve. Make the sides together like this, and then you're gonna gather the sleeve so you can it has the same width as the cuff, and then you put the cuff over the sleeve or the sleeve in the cuff, and you divide that nicely along the width that you have, pin it down and stitch it down with a stretch stitch, and make sure you finish this too, because otherwise this will get loose. So when you open it up, then you have your cuff on your sleeve. So that's what we're gonna do. And then for the color, I didn't give you a pattern because I wasn't sure how much fabric I would have to make it, and I didn't have really much, so I had to improvise a bit. So I had 1.5 meters of fabric. That was not enough. I rather would have 2 meters, then I would have more fabric for this color, but I didn't, so I had to improvise. I made for the back measure your collar, so measure for the back and measure for the front how much that is, because I have to make two separate pieces for the neck and for the front. For the back I took this one, it is double because I want a double neck. I marked the middle here and where the two come together, that is the width of the back of the dress. So this is the 32, I believe that was the back of my dress neck hole. I made this a bit wider on the top because then the collar is not that tight on your neck, and I made it a bit in a slighted angle so that I have here the right measurement, and this is more wider. For the front I wanted even more, so that was a problem too. Also this is double. I marked the middle. Here the width of the front neck hole of course is more, so this had to be more, and I wanted here to have even more because then it falls nicely as a waterfall collar. So I took this as much fabric as I could here, so this is even more angled line. And because this width is more than the width of the back and we have to sew them together, I make some pleats in the front collar to make this the same size, so we can sew this together. So I made some in the one part and then the other part, the lining part, how you want to call it. Make some pleats here too. And I make sure that it has the same length as your back collar. Then you sew them together, right sides together. So here you do the same on the other side, make here your pleats and then sew the front and the back together on the other side. And then you have one circular collar to sew on your dress. And sewing on your dress is easy, it's just you sew the front to the front and the back to the back, and then you can double it up. Or what you can do is double it up front, so you double your collar and then in one row you're gonna sew this to the back and sew this one to the front, and you have just one whole circle to sew then. So that's the next step, and the only thing that we have to do then is hem the bottom of the dress, and you can do that however you like. I like, even because this is a rather thin fabric, to make a rather long thick seam, so I hem it in, I think 3 centimeters and 3 centimeters to a double hem, and then with a stretch stitch hem the skirt, and then I think we are finished. Yes, so good luck with sewing again. the result of the dress. Looks very cute. I'm very happy with it. I think I say that in every tutorial at the end result, but it's really like I wanted it to be. I like the balloon sleeves, they're very nice, and I can pull them up. That's what I said about the cuffs, don't make them too tight because you certainly want to be able to pull them up. I like the color, it's very flowy. I was a bit afraid that I didn't have enough fabric, but it turned out pretty well, happily. So make sure you have enough fabric, buy for sure 2 meters, because it's very annoying when you don't have enough and you have to adjust to something that you don't want to adjust. The length is exactly perfect for me, that I wanted it to be. So I'm very happy with this. I hope you liked the tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe so that you don't miss out on any other tutorials that are coming. I'm gonna try to make every part of fashion that is possible to give you a pattern of all the things that you can make. Again, today I saw a YouTuber that sells her patterns, even basic patterns she sells. And again, I want to say never ever pay for patterns. You see, you can easily make them yourself. You can make them to your sizing. When you buy a pattern, it's not always sure that it is right for your size or for your body type. So don't ever pay for patterns. Make them yourself. Watch my tutorials. Ask me a question if you want to have a pattern for something. Then I will make a tutorial for you and for everyone else, of course. And then you have your basic pattern or a special pattern. But don't ever pay. I said it already in my video where I explained why my tutorials are so long, but I cut it out because I thought, well, I get hate, I think, when I say it, but I think I have to say this. I saw a YouTuber that sews a lot on her channel, and one time she said that she finally found a pattern for trousers because she couldn't find anyone that was really good for her, and this was the white one, and she only paid $20 for that. And I thought, oh my gosh, don't ever pay $20 for a trousers pattern. And it even was just a straight leg, elastic waistband pattern, so nothing special, nothing difficult, but she paid $20 for it. So never ever do it. You can easily do it yourself, even if you don't have any experience. You see in my tutorials how easy it is to make a pattern for your sizing that fits you well, that you like. And it's no use to buy them because you pay for someone who loves because you're so stupid to pay for the pattern. So don't do that. Make it yourself, very easy. Send me a comment in the comment section if you have a question or if you want me to make something, or send me a DM and I can make a tutorial for you, or I can explain how you can do it yourself. And then you're much more happy with it because it's really for you at your sizing. So don't do that. Please subscribe if you like it. I'll see you next week with a new tutorial, I think. I'm not sure because the next tutorial is a more larger one. So maybe next week or the week after that. Next week then will be another video, of course, because I'll try to be back every Monday. So stay tuned and I'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks for watching.